So I'm having an EEG, video EEG, and this is what the equipment looks like. A video camera with a computer, it's checking out all my brain waves. And then I have to carry this little thing around with me everywhere. 24 or 25 leads that are attached to me. I'm going to turn this around real quick so you see what it looks like on my head. Can't go anywhere, shouldn't go outside, you're not supposed to get sweaty. The wire leads on this are actually not long enough for this device to fit into my pocket, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So when I walk around the house, I have to stick it in between my shorts and my body in order for it to feel loose enough for me to walk around. At night, so right now I'm sitting in the living room and have this on me. If I go more than the designated number of feet away, I lose connection with the Bluetooth on this device to the computer that they have attached to it. Now, in the meantime, the folks Fort Lauderdale phone number are actually monitoring all of this. They're monitoring all my brainwaves and everything. And watch this, I'm gonna smack my teeth. Wait till it. You can hear and when I turn my neck around, it snaps. You can also see all kind of weird stuff. So my neck has a lot of issues in it. Turn my neck around, so it's listening and it hears all of my neck bones cracking like crazy. But anyway, when I go to bed at night, I have to actually pick this equipment up. And you see the gray cord going out the side. And then goes over there and plugs in next to our sugar gliders. Really long cord to plug into. The camera cord is not as long as I wished it was. But I have to set this up in such a way where it has to watch me all night. Now, I have it set up so that it only watches my side of the bed and it doesn't see my wife's side of the bed at all. And I do take my shirt off at night, but I leave on my my like night shorts, gym looking shorts. And then I get up to go pee. They can actually see everything that's going on. I have no idea how closely they monitor it. Things happen. You're supposed to push this little button. This little button right here. You're supposed to push that. And then you write down on this sheet of paper over here. You write down on the little sheet of paper over here every time you feel a electrical sensation, or like I get the tingling. Sometimes my eyes will twitch like crazy, or I'll get a really bad headache behind my eye. Anytime anything like that happens, you're supposed to push that little button, and then you log it on the sheet. What it does is it like timestamps on here what was going on at that time when you push the button, and then by writing it on here, it's supposed to be some kind of an indication of what was going on at the time that you pushed the button. Kind of helps them with exactly when it happened. They can look at your brain waves. Pretty sure they're like monitoring everything that goes on anyway, since they can watch me with the camera and they can see in real time what all of those wave signals are doing. Like every time I turn my head and it's painful in my neck, all in my cervical, they can see the result of that on the screen. And when they see that result, they match it up to what was I doing at the time to write out a report. So I'm sure every time I do that with my teeth, right? You can hear it. So when I'm eating it looks like it's going crazy too. So I can imagine they see the lines go crazy all over the place. They look at what I'm doing at the time, and they say, "Oh, he's just chewing something. I'm eating trail mix, which is super crunchy, you know." And so they can see, okay, that's all that was going on at the time. Same thing with when they see the screen go all kind of wonky. It's because I just moved my neck around. And you see over there, that was a result of me moving my neck. So I got all kind of noise going on in my neck, which we already know I have two pinched nerves and I have bone spur, nerve canal is shrinking, and all of those things that go along with old age and with a neck injury. The cause for all of this on me, the reason my neurologist has prescribed this thing is because in late March, I was having these electrical impulses and jerking in my arm and in my hand, both arms and both hands at the same time. That happened for about 2 hours. Um, and then about 3 or 4 days later, it did it again, but I haven't had it happen since. Occasionally, I will have what feels like broken glass in the very base of my neck, my C7 cervical. If I look too quickly to my left, I literally, my whole body just goes like that because I feel something, it feels like liquid glass in my neck, and the pain is instantaneously a 9 like that. But then it also goes away just as quickly. Normally, this type of a device is looking for seizures and other things. In my case, they don't really think I was having seizure issues. So I think this is more or less ruling that out for me. If you've had seizures or other things, this is actually monitoring you in a medical way that I just don't understand. Yeah. The case itself is not really that heavy. It's actually hollow inside. You can put your hand underneath the green thing and get all the way underneath. It's no big deal. Um, so it's not really heavy for me to walk around with it. It does have wheels. It has a handle. I just picked the whole thing up because, well, the computer is already on. You know, I have lost connection a couple times, and you can see the people that are monitoring. You can see the movement of the mouse on the screen, moving it around and reconnecting and stuff like that. I also had an issue where it got unplugged and the laptop died. So I called them on the phone. They immediately said, "Hey, do this, do that," and then it's like, "Oh, I found the issue. It was unplugged," when we didn't think that was the case to start with. So this has been my experience. This is called a 72-hour EEG with video monitoring. So this is what I'm going through. The little hat thing they put on me, they put the wire leads on. Now, I shaved my head already, so it was really easy for the technician to put all of this stuff on me. But they have this little tiny cup that, just imagine a funnel with the end of the cut off. And there's a couple tiny little holes in the top of the funnel. And they set that on your head, and then they have a little glue that they squirt inside the hole. And it's a type of adhesive that causes it to actually adhere to your skin. So people, if you have hair, they part your hair and then they just stick it to it. It's going to be a lot easier for me to take this off later because I don't have to worry about hair. I was told by the technician that, warm water will take it right off. It does get itchy. You can imagine this has been on me since Wednesday. Today is Friday, and they're not taking it off until noon on Saturday tomorrow. A little difficult to sleep in because you get to sleep with all of this attached to you. So you can imagine that's no fun. Not impossible. I've slept both nights so far and got tonight to sleep. I'll probably still get some sleep, even though I kind of stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning before I can actually fall asleep. But it's not impossible to sleep with it. The first night it felt really odd with this, pushing up against the pillow. Honestly, after a couple of hours of me rolling from one side to the other, my pillow is pretty decent. It's not real hard, so the little pieces would actually push into the pillow, and it wasn't so hard on my head. And last night and this morning, I realized that I really didn't notice it that much anymore. Right, that's after the second night. That's not terrible. It's not something to be feared, that much. It does get itchy though. I also have hearing aids. And the hearing aids, they still fit in there. Easy enough. You can see. I'm sure that my technician knew I had hearing aids, so she made it a point to accommodate for that when she put all of this stuff on. One other thing. Once they put the wired leads on, then they put this sock thing over your head, and then she has another tube, and she takes it, she puts her rubber gloves on, she puts the glue in different spots all over my head, and then she rubs it in. That pushes through the mesh and also sticks to my head. So yeah, it can be very itchy at times, and you can't scratch it because every time you touch or tap on this thing, it shows up on the wire lead. It shows up on the screen that there's like some tapping going on. But also you take a chance on scratching it, and you don't want anything to pull loose. The technician told me that some people are really rough on these things. And I was thinking, well, how can they be rough on these? I don't get it, right? Well, here's what happens. You go to the bathroom, you got nowhere to put it. You've got a tether to this machine. So it's like you don't know where to put it. And it wouldn't fit in my pocket because the leads aren't long enough. So thankfully my toilet is really close to my sink. So I was able to set this on this sink, take care of business, and then I could still stand up, wash my hands thoroughly before I ever even have to pick this up. Really wasn't that big of a deal. There is a little black little spot right here. The technician would leave you she left me a Q-tip with a very strong handle. And if they contact you like they did me, they sent me a text message and said, hey, it's time for you to change your batteries. They left me with spare batteries and the little Q-tip thing. You push in there, and this little door in the back just pops open. You take the old batteries out, you put new batteries in it, and you close it. It automatically turns on, automatically resets. Really easy to do, nothing difficult. But I do understand why she said people treat this really rough. It's because the first time I sat down to go to the bathroom, it actually fell, and literally this whole thing is like it snatched my neck around, and it hit the ground. So yeah, I could understand why she said people treat this badly. I would think a small satchel, something that I would cross, like throw it over one side of your neck, and then this would be supported somewhere like right in here. Um, would probably be a huge benefit if you're going to go through this test and you know it in advance. Getting a small satchel or something that you could slide this into would probably benefit you quite a bit. Literally, I'm just sticking it in between my waist of my shorts, and my skin. I'm clean. She wiped this down really good before she gave it to me. Um, it's not terrible. You have to be a couch potato for 3 full days. I don't mind being a couch potato, but after the first day, it's like I want to get up and go do something. But for me, that means it's gonna get physical and I'm gonna sweat. And you can't sweat. You got all this stuff up here you have to maintain. And if a doctor has prescribed this, it's for a darn good reason. And you should pay attention to that and let the mechanics of this do its job, and don't do things that would actually jeopardize your treatment. You're not being treated, but they have to understand what's going on to possibly give you the right treatment. Can't really think of anything else. Oh, yes, the camera. I want to focus back on the camera. You see the little lights all the way around it? That is infrared night vision. So infrared night vision. So if I sit here and I say, Alexa, turn the living room lights off.
Okay.
Nope. It's still too bright in here. It's still too bright in here for the infrared lights to turn red. Alexa, turn the living room lights on.
Okay.
So here's what happens at night when my wife and I are watching TV. She sits over there, I sit over here, and you see the TV. So what happens sometimes at night, we'll have the lights out, but the brightness of the screen, if it's really bright, the LED, the infrared lights will go out. But if suddenly the screen goes dark in a dark scene, the infrared lights turn on and you'll hear the camera clicking. So occasionally, especially if I'm in here by myself, I'm watching YouTube or something, and each scene will go from bright to dark to bright to dark. You'll hear the camera clicking. Each time the infrared turns on, it'll click. It goes out and turns back on, it clicks. So if you hear that clicking on and off, that's all it is. You don't really have to worry. From what I understand, it's natural. It's part of what the camera does. But yeah, I mean, if the clicking is annoying, turn a light on, a backlight. If the light is illuminating me, it really won't matter a whole lot if my screen is going bright to dim. But for us, this light puts a glare on the TV, hers too. I mean, I can do this. I can tell Alexa, turn the living room brightness to 5%.
Got it.
And it turns the brightness really low for me. And that does help. But at night, we'd still like the lights to be out completely. Alexa, turn the brightness to 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. If you have any questions, if I didn't think of something in advance, contact me. They do have the 24/7 monitoring, and they give you a phone number that's good for 24/7. So those people that are watching you, they give you their phone number. Anything happens, you have an emergency. You know what? Family emergency. They tell you you can put a hat on, um, you know, leave the wire leads attached. You put a hat on that's a loose fitting hat. If that's the case, you can hide this somewhere. You call the number that they gave you. You go take care of your emergency. When you get back, the technician, this will automatically reconnect to the computer, and they will see that you're back, and they will turn the whole thing back on for you. But don't just leave for just any reason. It needs to be an emergency because, like I said, this is prescribed to you for a reason. They need for it to be on the most amount of time as possible. There are times if I go, our house is kind of wonky. If I go to the other side of my house, I do lose connection and see a bunch of red lines. When I come back in here and I sit down, give it a minute or two, and suddenly all the squiggly lines reappear. You don't have to call someone and say, oh my God, all my lines are red. The Bluetooth that's in this will actually reconnect. They say try not to be off camera for more than 30 minutes. So, but you still want to try to stay within Bluetooth shot of this. So if I go into the kitchen and I eat, that's acceptable as long as I'm not in there for more than 30 minutes. And then I come back in as long as the Bluetooth stays connected that entire time. I'm fortunate, my wife actually brings the food in here for these 3 days, and we just sit here and eat on TV trays. But my bathroom is on the other side of the house, and I do lose connection with the Bluetooth. But when I come back in here, it just automatically reconnects, and it, contrary to my wife's thoughts, it does not take me 30 minutes or longer to go to the bathroom. Yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. And if this video helped you at all, just hit the like on it for me. I'm not monetized, but it still helps with the algorithm. Thank you very much.